Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 6.
A Roseau man is facing several charges, including making violent threats after police say he told owners of a Badger, Minnesota bar that he would bring in a gun and take them all out.
Police say it happened on Friday at Skippy Finn's bar. According to court records, 30-year-old Jairus Lane went into the bar and was refused service by the owners. The documents go on to state that Lane left the bar and then came back with his own beer. Now, one of the owners asked him to leave several times, but he refused. That's when Lane allegedly threatened to get a 9mm gun and take them all out. Lane was placed under arrest. Police say he was intoxicated at the time of the incident. 2 people were arrested after a car crash in Grand Forks. It happened in the area of Oxbow Court and Gateway Drive around 6:45 this morning. When officers arrived, they saw someone run from the car with a bag. And while they were chasing that individual, someone else tried to drive off in the crashed car. 30-year-old Deanna Prasad from Grand Forks was picked up for suspicion of driving under suspension, hindering law enforcement, and possession of a controlled substance. 38-year-old Tron David Watson of Grand Forks was also arrested.
A local parent wrote into our whistleblower hotline with concerns about the auditorium at Discovery Middle School in South Fargo, saying school programs and events had to be moved to other locations for safety concerns.
We did some digging and found out that the school failed its recent fire inspection report. Valley News Team's safety reporter Bailey Hurley explains the safety concerns.
An outdated fire extinguisher, wrongly placed extension cords, and an exit sign needing some fixing are just a few of the violations Discovery Middle School had in their most recent fire inspection. But Discovery is not alone. The 2 other public middle schools in the Fargo School District had a few offenses as well. At Ben Franklin, the list is small. Some exposed wires, a blocked exit, and a wrong exit sign sum up the minor problems found on their inspection last month. And noted in Carl Ben's report, there was a sprinkler that needed some repairs, space heaters in the wrong place, and some flammable materials not kept in their proper place. Most parents I talked with today say the violations aren't that concerning, but a little problematic, saying they're glad the schools didn't have any major violations, but wish they knew about the small problems that were present. One parent said even though the violations aren't that big of a deal, posting the fire inspection results on the school's Facebook page or in a newsletter to parents would ease their mind and thinks it would help keep the school more accountable. In Fargo, Bailey Hurley, Valley News Live.
We also looked at the fire inspection reports from the past 3 years at the Fargo Public Middle Schools, which showed some minor violations at each school year. The most common offense at all 3 schools had to do with extension cord placements throughout the buildings. Now, if you need help uncovering fraud or corruption in your community, here's some advice. Call our whistleblower hotline 701-237-6576 and leave your tip. A member of our team will go to work to expose the truth.
Our run of decent December weather continued today with temps in the 20s and sunshine. We're doing well. Let's find out from Hutch what tonight's conditions will be like. Hutch?
Indeed, above average temperatures today. While we look at high temperatures, we did see those 30s, even some 40s down in northeast South Dakota for you in Sisseton, holding in the 20s along and north of Highway 2. As we look at the satellite, we see clouds out near the Montana border pushing our way. So for now, we'll see quickly falling temperatures, already mid-teens in Grand Forks, holding on to 20s, though, in the south. We'll be joining our northern neighbors in the teens here very shortly. Those clouds build in overnight and they will lead to a chance of snow for some. I'll detail all of that coming up here in just a few minutes, but the mild stretch does look to continue. More on that a little later.
All right, thank you, Hutch. We've got Beth Houle with us now with some breaking sports news. Beth?
Yeah, thanks, Andrea. Fox College Sports football reporter Bruce Feldman is reporting Chris Klieman is expected to be offered the head coaching position at Kansas State. The announcement coming more than a week after Snyder announced his retirement. At this time, that is all the information we have, but we are hard at work right now trying to confirm whether or not Klieman will remain on with the Bison as head coach through the playoffs. Klieman spoke earlier today at his weekly press conference, expecting a decision to be made today or tomorrow. Valley News Live has confirmed around 5 o'clock that contract details were being finalized. Klieman has gone 67-6 with 3 national championships as head coach. Again, we are still working to confirm whether he will remain head coach for Friday's game against South Dakota State. But Bruce Feldman reporting he is expected to be allowed to remain on with the Bison.
And we'll have more on that coming up later in sports. Thanks, Beth. In other news, nothing new from authorities as they look into the report of shots fired at a Fargo apartment building late last night. They told us it happened just before 9 o'clock at the 1100 block of 22nd Street South. When police went inside the apartment, they found 3 empty shell casings on the floor and 3 bullet holes in the walls. No one was hurt. No arrests have been made.
A 54-year-old northern Minnesota man who has been charged in connection with an apparent hunting accident that killed a former police chief in November made his first court appearance today. Morris Dodd Jr. was taken into custody on November 10th after a fatal hunting-related incident that killed 53-year-old Jay Nelson on the White Earth Reservation. According to court documents, officers discovered a shell casing, a cigarette butt, and footprints in a wooded area several yards from where Nelson was found dead. Dodd will be back in court on January 7th.
Questions tonight about who's teaching your children. A concerned parent reached out to our whistleblower hotline regarding a Fergus Falls teacher who's currently facing a felony terrorizing charge. In November of last year, Jamestown police say they responded to a road rage incident where victims told them DeMarco Smith showed them a gun. Smith's felony terrorizing charge didn't stop him from getting a job as a teacher at Hillcrest Academy. School leaders say they did a background check on Smith before hiring him. It came up clean. That's because not all background checks look into pending or active charges, which some employment experts say is a good thing.
Charges against someone would not show up on a background check because we can't discriminate against somebody based on charges because they may be innocent. And we're going to assume that they're innocent until we know otherwise.
After finding out about Smith's active charges, Hillcrest let him go. In Grand Forks, police need some help identifying a man that they say is involved in an active investigation. Investigators say this man is wanted in connection to some stolen credit cards. If you know who he is, call the phone number on your screen, 701-787-8013, and leave your tip.
2 people, one of them an 8-year-old, will be honored this week for helping save a woman after she had a massive heart attack, which led to sudden cardiac arrest. On November 25th, 35-year-old Katie Stoltz collapsed at home in front of her 8-year-old daughter, Sloan, and her 4-year-old twin boys. Sloan FaceTimed her aunt, Jenna Lee, in Grand Forks, who told Sloan to get help at her neighbor, Mark Donarski's house. Lee's husband called 911 while Donarski came to the home and started CPR. Emergency crews got to the home and then rushed Katie to the hospital. She had suffered a massive heart attack, but is now home and expected to make a full recovery. Mark Donarski and Sloan Stoltz will be recognized at 4 this Wednesday afternoon at the Dakota Medical Foundation in Fargo.